All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to trace the incredible evolution of AI agents. It's a journey that takes us from the very first, simple, logic-based systems all the way to the autonomous agents that are, right now, starting to reshape entire industries. It's going to be a fascinating ride.
But first things first, we hear the term AI agent thrown around everywhere, right? It's kind of become this huge buzzword. So what are we actually talking about when we say agent? Let's clear that up.
At its core, an AI agent is really just a goal-oriented problem solver. It's not about just responding to a prompt you type in. No. This is a system that's designed to perceive a situation, understand what needs to be done, and then actually use tools to take action and get there, all on its own.
So to really get where we are now, we have to wind the clock back to the very beginning. We're going to an era that wasn't defined by massive data sets, but by pure, cold, hard logic and human-defined rules.
You know, the dream of an intelligent machine really started with pioneers like Alan Turing. By 1956, the field officially got its name, artificial intelligence. But the real breakthrough, the moment it became valuable for business, didn't happen until the 1980s, and that was driven by this powerful new idea called expert systems.
Now, here's the crucial thing to understand. These early agents weren't learning from data at all. Think of them more like digital encyclopedias of human knowledge, captured in thousands of simple, if this happens, then do that statement. An expert would literally sit with an engineer for months and just map out their entire decision-making process, rule by painstaking rule.
And here's where all that theory turned into serious, real-world profit. A company called DEC built one of these expert systems. They called it XCon to configure their super complex computer systems. And the result? It was just astounding. It saved them $40 million a year just by cutting down on errors. This was the moment AI proved it wasn't some academic fantasy. It could deliver serious, game-changing business value.
That first wave was powerful for sure, but the next era, well, it was defined by two ingredients that would completely change the game. A massive explosion of data and cheap, accessible computing power, all thanks to the rise of the internet.
And just like that, everything shifted. Suddenly, you didn't need a multi-million-dollar server room in your basement. With the cloud, anyone could tap into immense processing power. And with the internet, we finally had the gigantic data sets needed to train a whole new kind of agent, one that learned from patterns, not from a pre-programmed rulebook.
And the impact was absolutely staggering. These new data-driven agents, they weren't just a fun novelty. They became straight-up money-making machines, driving revenue through the roof, slashing operational costs, and saving billions in fraud across tons of different industries.
I mean, just take customer service. Conversational agents, chatbots, could suddenly handle billions of routine questions. This freed up human agents to work on the really tough problems and, in the process, cut service costs by up to 70%. It completely changed the economics of running a support center.
At the exact same time, recommendation engines, think Netflix or Alibaba, became absolute masters at upselling. By analyzing your behavior, these agents could predict exactly what you wanted to watch or buy next, and they were so good at it that they lifted the average revenue per user by a massive 35%.
And over in the world of finance, a different kind of agent was quietly working behind the scenes. These agents learned to spot tiny anomalies in transaction data in real time, in milliseconds, cutting fraud losses in half and protecting millions of us from theft.
So these data-driven agents were absolutely incredible at mastering one specific task, but that was also their biggest limitation. And that brings us to today, right now, where the latest leap forward isn't just about doing one thing really well, but about giving agents the ability to reason, to plan, and to execute complex, multi-step tasks to achieve a really broad goal.
And this marks a fundamental shift in how we interact with AI. The old way was pretty passive, right? You give a prompt, you get a response. You're in the driver's seat. With today's agentic systems, you don't give a prompt, you give a goal. The agent then becomes the driver, figuring out all the steps and taking the actions to get there all by itself.
So how in the world does it do that? Well, it uses a continuous loop that's actually pretty simple. First, it thinks, using a language model to reason about the goal and make a plan. Then, it acts, using a tool like an API to actually do something. And finally, it observes the result of that action and feeds that information back into the loop to decide what to do next. It's just think, act, observe, over and over again.
And modern frameworks give developers all the building blocks for this. They give agents access to tools so they can interact with the world, persistent memory so they can actually remember context from one moment to the next, and the ability to hand off tasks to other more specialized agents, creating a kind of collaborative AI team.
Okay, so where's all of this going? I mean, the logical conclusion here isn't just smarter individual agents. It's got to be entire ecosystems of them, all working together seamlessly.
And that brings us to this incredible concept of agent swarms. This isn't science fiction. This is the next competitive battleground. We're talking about intelligent, autonomous agents negotiating, coordinating, and executing complex business processes from start to finish with basically zero human intervention. Just picture it. Procurement bots automatically negotiating the best prices with the bots from your suppliers. Logistics bots coordinating shipments with warehouse bots. Pricing bots adjusting what you pay for something based on market demand, literally in real time. It sounds wild, but early pilots of these systems are already showing 3 to 5% gains in profit margins. It's already happening.
And this leads to a pretty stark reality for businesses. As the source material puts it so well, today is the cheapest entry point for adopting this technology. Any company that waits is going to end up paying a survival tax, just desperately trying to catch up to their AI-powered competitors.
And that leaves us with one final and really crucial question. As we start to delegate more and more of our economic activity to these autonomous systems, the big challenge shifts from building the agents to governing the world that they operate in. So, who's going to set the rules for a marketplace that's run entirely by bots? That's the billion-dollar question we'll all need to answer as this incredible technology continues to evolve.